If you've been hearing things like the market is slow, nothing's moving, or maybe we should just wait, you're not alone. I get messages like this almost every week. But here's a real question most people aren't even asking. Is the Victoria market actually slow, or is it just normal again? Because those are two very different things, and confusing them can lead to missed opportunities, bad timing, or unnecessary stress. So let's break this down clearly so you can actually understand what's going on right now in the Victoria market and how it affects you, whether you're buying, selling, or just watching from the sidelines. So first up, let's talk about why the market feels slow right now. A big part of that comes down to comparison. When you think about 2020 to early 2022, the market was not normal. Homes were selling in days, multiple offers were the norm, and buyers were rushing to decisions. And conditions were often removed with limited due diligence. So when we compare today to that, of course it feels slower. But that doesn't mean something is wrong. It means the market is no longer in an overheated, emotionally driven phase. Today's buyers are more thoughtful, sellers aren't getting instant offers, and transactions take time again. That's not a slowdown. That's a return to reality. Next up, seasonal slowdown versus market weakness. Another thing that gets misunderstood a lot is seasonality. Every year in Victoria, winter typically is quieter, fewer listings come on, and fewer buyers are actively searching. Showing slow down, and that's normal. When sales dip in late fall and winter, headlines often jump straight to market slowdown, but that ignores decades of seasonal patterns. What really matters is what happens when activity picks back up again in the spring and early summer. And historically, Victoria has typically followed a certain rhythm around that time. So a quieter market right now doesn't automatically mean prices are dropping or demand has disappeared. Now, what a balanced market actually looks like. Right now, we're in what most professionals would call a balanced market for the most part. That means homes don't sell instantly, buyers have time to do proper due diligence, sellers need to price correctly, and negotiation is back. And conditions are common again. This is how real estate is supposed to function. In a balanced market, good homes still sell, overpriced homes sit, well-prepared sellers do well, and informed buyers actually have leverage. That's not weakness, that's stability. Now, prices aren't crashing, they're stabilizing. One of the biggest fears and questions I hear is this: are prices going to drop further? What we're actually seeing is price stability, not a free fall decline. Now, some segments have softened slightly, but you have others that are just completely flat, but there are some that are still edging up depending on their location and property type. That's very different from a crash. Stabilization after a rapid growth is healthy. It allows the market to reset, incomes to catch up, and confidence to rebuild, which is exactly what long-term real estate markets need. So what does this mean if you're a buyer? If you're a buyer, this market actually works in your favor. You'll likely have less competition, more time to think, more negotiating power, and the ability to actually include conditions in your offer. Instead of having to compete emotionally, you're making decisions strategically. And that's a huge advantage if you plan to own long term. But what does this mean if you're selling? Now, if you're selling, the key shift is this: timing matters less than pricing and preparation. Homes that are priced realistically, properly presented, and marketed well are still selling. The days of throw a sign up and see what happens are gone. But sellers who adapt to today's market are still achieving strong results. So, isn't this a Victoria market slow? Not really. It's normal again. Less emotional, more balanced, more predictable, and more rational. And honestly, that's good for both buyers and sellers. Now, if you're thinking about buying or selling and you're unsure about how this market affects your situation, that's exactly why personalized advice matters. A lot of people just like you reach out to me because they're trying to make sense of the headlines versus what's actually happening on the ground. And I'm always happy to help break down the situation. If you have questions, feel free to call or text me anytime. My info is down below. And if you found this video helpful, drop a comment, like, and subscribe. Other than that, I'll see you in the next one.